Oh, look at that. I'm back. I feel so enfranchised once again. Oh! What was I saying? What's wrong with New Labour? Yeah, it's that control freakery. It's the we know best. It's a particular... I mean, my theory is that it's only a class traitor. If the class deserter, class twat, I don't know, like me, who has in some senses straddles, you know, like, you don't have to go very far back in my family to find working class people. But you don't have to go very far. You can just tiptoe to find middle class people as well, you see. And I'm obviously yeah, that member of the kind of completely idiot, pointless subgroup known as the willing poor or something. Or something. But yeah, there's a lot about... There's a... it's a bit like having been a smoker or something. You kind of... you can't get on with... Yeah, once, right, I was at a wedding and I was doing something that was ever so slightly socially risque in the context, okay? But it was late at night, you know, and we were in a barn a long way from anywhere, but suddenly I found myself being led by the arm, by the elbow, out of the barn. And it was only then that it was explained to me kind of what would be appropriate. And I remember just being in shock at being in my 30s and being led by the arm anywhere. And I think that with your New Lab lot, we're all being led by the arm a little bit. You know, we might be led by the arm into Iraq, or led by the arm into financial meltdown, or worse to come, you know, if we give them half a chance. If it is us that is giving them chances. But yes, down to the specific individuals that come and go through the Labour cabinet. You know, one gets a chance to kind of build up your own personal top trumps of hate figures in a way, and but I noticed this kind of continuity, and it's people that I've met in my life that have taught me about the kind of people these people are like, if that makes sense. And it's the kind of people who overachieve whilst kind of... they achieve in one context but not in others. The context that they perhaps do not achieve in are being being well liked, or being valued for much perhaps other than their achievement. You know, they are by and large perhaps not your... you know, it's not that they don't... presumably I can't imagine that many of them have been great sportsmen and women. Tony Blair was in a band, but I think that just shows that he's actually the devil himself. Yeah, could we have a picture of him in that band photo here, please? Yeah, I mean, you only have to listen to, say, Jack Straw talk, and you realise that this is a person who nobody has ever really gone, nice one, Jack. Slapped him on the back, you know, or I don't know. It's like, maybe to say he's been bullied is like too strong, but you can imagine him there sort of ferreting around on the edges of the classroom, staying out of trouble, just building up a backlog of kind of embitteredness. And then all these years later, he emerges Gollum-like into the public sphere, and you know, and I swear it's the women that really do my head in. You know, I can't look at Hazel Blear's face or Jackie Smith's face. Just even Ruth Kelly, who strikes you as a sort of, on average, more decent human being than a lot of them. At least she fucking quit a couple of times or whatever. But it's just that overachievingness, that kind of, I mean, yeah, did these people, it's not just about being able to make a joke or hit a ball or something. Have they studied beyond, you know, some, have they read philosophy, you know? Are they historians in any sense, really? You know, is there, I mean, Blair's fucking Catholicism, I mean, that just, you know, I just think, like, you have to be, if you're going to do this job, I mean, I can never get my head around the fact that, like, you can have, like, you know, the Chancellor of the Exchequer may not be an economist, you know, and so on and so on. It just doesn't really, I mean, I know they have advisors and stuff. It all adds up to a sense that we're being, you know, it's the blind leading the blind with politics. But because it's just normal, everyone just thinks, you know, but the world's got too complicated. We can't have this kind of thing. You know, we can't be muddling through. You know, I've been reading bloody Big Ear's book, Andrew Marr's History of Modern Britain. And it's only when he gets to the 60s and starts talking about music that I realise he doesn't really know what he's talking about at all. But it's been an education for me nonetheless. Just the sheer scale of the historical perspective it gives you, like, since the Second World War, like the situation that this country was in at the end of the war. You know, we were touch and fucking go, and our whole history since then, you know, has just been in the shadow of all sorts of, like, immense kind of historical factors. But, you know, like, people just seem to have a dim sense of, like, the time that they're living in, and you know, it is a dim sense, you know. I look at the paper today, it's about Jordan and Peter Andre. I mean, it's a pointless point to make, but I don't know. Off with their heads, I say.